the process there from a notification standpoint is very similar. Can you walk people through a little bit more as to why SnapNames and NameJet work together when it comes to the drop inventory?
Sure. We came together, simply put, to dominate the drop. And you know, it sounds kind of funny to say that, but at the same time, it's true, and it's the purpose of our partnership here is that we recognized that there was strength in numbers. SnapNames has what we believe to be the best drop catching technology and algorithm in the space. They also have a large number of registrars to utilize. When we talk about drop catching success and drop catching efficacy, it's really what percentage of the names that you're targeting are you catching. And it's critically important for any drop catching platform to be able to catch the most names possible that their customers want. I mean, it sounds like common sense, but it really is the name of the game, that ultimately you want to be able to take the names that your customers want and target them and catch them so that you can then deliver them to your customers or multiple customers in an auction setting. SnapNames, again, industry-leading technology developed over years and years, and also a large number of credentials. You need not just good technology, but you also need a large number of registrar credentials to increase the odds of actually catching the domain. So it's one thing to have the really good technology. It's another thing to have the creds, kind of like bullets in a gun or nets to catch the dropping names. The more nets that you have, the more names you can catch. You can kind of think of it that way, you know, to further along sort of the idea, the metaphor of the drop, or the idea of the drop. You know, NameJet, we had a number of creds as well. We also had some technological experience. We also have a very good platform and a great customer base. So we were able to contribute our registrar credentials, the ones that we utilize, to the bigger pool. We were also able to provide some technological support to help even further enhance and improve the SnapNames technology, so that by us working together, you know, it does really improve the ability for us collectively to catch more names. And then also, too, the way that it works is that there's multiple folks out there trying to catch these domains. There is not one provider that can catch 100% of the names. There are a few large ones that are very good, of which we consider ourselves to be at the top. And prior to this partnership and integration, you would have to put back orders in at both SnapNames and NameJet in order to make sure that you had an opportunity to catch the name. Now you only have to put a back order in at one of ours. And when we talk about best practices, I mean, this isn't just going to be, I mean, this is our, you know, it's our webinar, SnapNames and NameJet, but we are not the only players in the drop. You've got Drop Catch and a few others that are, you know, when we get into best practices and talk about how you want to cast the wide net, again, there's not one service that will catch all the names, but us collectively, we do have the highest efficacy in the space, and also have eliminated some of the additional work that was required on the part of the customers where they'd have to go into both platforms, back order names on both platforms in order to make sure that they're able to participate if the name was caught by one of us. Well, now that we are working collectively together, you only have to back order at the platform that you really are most comfortable with, or that you like better, or that you've got some other reason to use over the one or the other. And, you know, Michael would hope that you pick Snap, and we would hope you pick NameJet, but either way, you'd only have to pick one, and ultimately, whichever one you're most comfortable with, and give you the best chance to catch the names and help reduce some of the time that it takes for you to do that.
Great. Michael, is there anything that you need to add to that, or?
No, well said, Jonathan. I think, you know, just, you know, the partnership itself is also a testament to kind of how Web looks at this business, as well as, you know, continuing to ensure that we have the industry-leading efficacy or catch rate of the dropping names. And one point that is mentioned here at the bottom is we've also, you know, successfully completed the acquisition of Backorder Zone to also help increase that efficacy back in January 2017.
Well, great. Well, we're going to move on. We're going to ask another poll question for everyone. And this is, you know, do any of you use either the download list on either SnapNames or NameJet? So I'm going to give everyone a few moments to answer that as well. All right, give it a few more seconds before we close it. All right, great. Thanks, everyone, for participating. I'm going to close it here in just a moment. There we go. Okay. So let's move on to on that note, basically, of asking that question, and it really does look like there's a percentage. It's a little bit of a mix again between everyone in the audience. Is that some of you that do use the download list, and some of you that do not. But one of the things we want to kind of move into is when it comes around best practices, is being sure that you know the platforms that you're working with and really understand how to leverage them to the best of your ability. And so, with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to Jonathan to kind of walk through NameJet's platform and kind of explain some of the list there, and then we'll go back to Michael as well. So, Jonathan, could you talk about the auction platform on NameJet as it pertains to the drop?
Sure, and it's similar on both NameJet and SnapNames, where what we really want to do is try to highlight names that people would be most interested in, and we've got some systems on our back end that help to identify and highlight those names. In our case, we've got and promote those names on the homepage of our website. So if you go to NameJet.com, you can see that we've got this list right there that's highlighted in the red with the red outline called the drop with the down arrow. And those are the names that are coming up in that pending delete list in that 5-day window prior to the drop itself. And this is a way that we highlight these names so people are aware of what's coming up. And then one of the other tools that we also have on the site is that if you go to the downloads link, which you see circled in red at the top of the header bar, if you click on the downloads link, you'll go to this page where you can download the pending delete list, so you can see which names are dropping each day coming up for the next 4 days, and then gives you an opportunity to you can then take it on your computer and use whether it's your own tool, your own scripts to parse through those lists to ultimately determine which names you want to target and which names you want to back order. I mean, there are this was on the slide earlier, and just to reiterate it and kind of mention it out loud, I mean, there's 120 to 200,000 expiring domains every day, and when we go through the entire process of then filtering out what ends up in the drop, you end up with about 50,000 to 80,000 domains dropping every single day. So although it's not as big of a universe as the expiring inventory, I mean, there's no question that there is a ton of dropping inventory, and in a lot of cases, some real gems and some great quality names. The thing is that you've got to work through potentially 50,000 to 80,000 domains on a daily basis in order to find the inventory that you want, that you'd be interested in, that has value to you, and depending on what your strategy is and why you're acquiring the names, that's a lot of work. So we try to make that easier by, again, highlighting some of the names that have a lot of interest on the homepage in that dropping list, and then also giving our customers the ability to take our pending delete list, download them directly from the site, and then use those and parse them and filter those in a way to help you identify which names you want to target then in the drop and place back orders on NameJet or Snap.
Okay. Well, Michael, I'm going to ask you to pick up and walk through again just the navigation around using SnapNames for the same purpose, obviously, but just a little bit of a different flow probably, but similar enough. If you could walk everyone through the next couple of slides to illustrate how to access this information on SnapNames.
Sure, thanks. You're very similar to NameJet, except for we have much prettier colors here. We have lists on the homepage that will identify what we believe the best of the drop is for our customers. If you were to click that link, and it's one of the main sections, it'll take you to a best of the drop page where it has the top 100 names from a SnapNames algorithm standpoint. We believe are the best names on the drop after culling through that 50 to 80,000 domains that are dropping on a daily basis. That's one of the things that we do. If we go to the next page, from there you'll find our download list. So at the header bar under your buyer dashboards, way at the bottom you'll see download auction list, and then over to the right we're focusing strictly on deleting domains today. But you'll see a full list, a light list, and then individual day lists. The difference between the full list and the light list is just attributes for the domain. The full list has more attributes, and the light list has a cleaner name to allow you to do your homework and to take a look at that. And I believe on both sites we both have advanced searches that'll give you attributes that you can select and deselect to understand the inventory that you're looking for, or search the inventory that's currently available, as well as save searches. So if you find a method of keyword strength or type of domain or type of TLD or anything, you can save that in either one of your accounts, and those save searches will go to your email addresses.
Yep, and I would say we have the same functionality on NameJet where you can go onto the search pages and you can tailor your searches even more specifically. picking the pending delete names and then dropping down certain search criteria that will then allow you to parse them even more specifically. And then you can also go into your account and create saved searches very much along those same lines to run those saved searches on a daily basis or on a weekly basis to just make sure that you're being notified when the names that you have a particular interest in are showing up in the drop and on the platform.
Yeah, and both platforms do. Yeah, both platforms try to do everything that we can in terms of getting the inventory in front of our buyers. We understand that it takes it takes time to cull through all those names. So we give you a couple first looks at what we believe is quality inventory off the drop, and then we give you the full breakdown through download lists as well as tools inside your account. So again, knowing your platform is important, whatever platform you're choosing.